Here's that matchup you talked about. Wow, that was one bad pass.
Oh, yes! Celtics, here they are running. Tatum loves freedom. Look at this.
I'm not laughing at him, I'm laughing with him.
Bonjour Enes Kanter Freedom, bienvenue en France. Nous sommes heureux de vous accueillir sur notre chaîne YouTube Boussole. Comment ça va?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Vous êtes un grand joueur de la NBA d'origine turque. Quelle a été votre motivation à jouer en NBA?
I actually wanted to be a soccer player growing up because it's the number one sport in Turkey and everybody is crazy about soccer. And I was too tall for it, too slow for it, didn't really work. And I wanted to do a sport where I can be good at, I can actually be better than anyone else, and it was the basketball because I was taller than all my classrooms and all my teammates. So I started to play basketball. I actually started very late. I started when I was 14 years old, and I think my biggest motivation was just representing my country, representing my people, and also, I think the NBA was my dream growing up, and I actually grew up as a Lakers fan. So that was my biggest motivation.
Merci Enes Kanter Freedom. Quels sont les moments les plus mémorables de votre carrière en NBA?
I mean, I played 11 years in NBA, so every season was just a different memory. But I think one of the most memorable moment that I had, I was playing for Portland Trail Blazers, and I remember we were playing against Oklahoma City Thunder, first round NBA playoffs, and Damian Lillard made a huge three-point shot over Paul George, and I think it was definitely one of the craziest shots I've ever seen in my life. And we actually won that series with that shot. And actually it was very good for me because I actually dislocated my shoulder before that game. So winning that series definitely gave me a lot of rest. But and also it was my old team. So beating your old team in a first round NBA playoffs, it was definitely an amazing moment.
En tant que joueur musulman, quel a été l'accueil du club, des joueurs ou encore du staff?
Throughout my whole career, we had so many, different players, different cultures in locker room, different religions, and different people. We always had respect for each other. We never, judge one each other. But I think, I remember, when they already knew I was Muslim, but they just asked me a lot of questions, and I was obviously prepared for it. But I think, me and my teammates, we did have a lot of fun. I remember many times when we go to different cities to play NBA basketball, we went to a halal restaurant so many times, and they love Turkish food, they love halal food. I asked them a lot of questions about their religion, they asked me a lot of questions about my religion. So we never lost that respect. We were always, try to understand each other, but I never really had a tough time. We always, try to be best friends, and we always try to respect for each other.
Y a-t-il des coéquipiers ou d'autres personnes rencontrées aux USA ou pendant votre carrière qui vous ont particulièrement marqué?
I think, I had many teammates that were actually very religious. I think that one of my teammates actually really inspired me. His name was Semi Ojale. I played with him with Boston, and this guy was reading Bible in halftime. That really inspired me. I mean, obviously he's making millions of dollars. He was one of the best basketball players in the world, but he really cared about his religion, and like I said again, he was reading Bible in halftime. So that really touched me, touched my heart, and that really inspired me.
Vous êtes de plus en plus engagé pour les droits des hommes, droits des humains. Qu'est-ce qui vous a poussé à vous engager à ce point dans cette cause? Et surtout, quels sont les projets en ce moment? Et une autre question dans cette question, est-ce que être un sportif de haut niveau vous aide à ce sujet?
I think being an athlete, especially around these times where social media and followers and everything is, that's what everyone, I guess, cares about. I think you can use, social media and be a platform to inspire others around you, because all these teenagers right now, all these kids, they're on TikTok all day, they're on social media, they're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So I think as an athlete, you are automatically becoming a teacher pretty much, because there are millions of kids out there watching you and idolizing you. So for me, it was always important to use my platform to talk about some of the things that are happening around the world. I think, because while we are comfortably playing basketball in the United States and living an amazing life, on the other side of the world, people are losing their lives, losing their homes, and losing their loved ones. So it is important to use basketball as a tool to be the voice of all those innocent people out there who don't have a voice. Right now, there are so many, injustices happen around the world. Many people are losing their freedoms, and there's no democracy in many countries around the world. So I think athletes are definitely playing a very important role in our society.
Vous faites le tour du monde, vous rencontrez beaucoup de personnes par rapport à ces projets-là. Quels sont les retours que vous avez?
All the projects that I'm actually trying to build is to bring peace and love into this world. I mean, I don't talk about politics. I talk about human rights. I talk about political prisoners. So I think if you're a human being, you have to care about these things. So we actually have a new project right now. Just because of the current war going on in the Middle East, there are so many. There's a huge gap between the Muslim and the Jewish communities. So I think we can use basketball as a tool to bring these communities together, because everyone loves basketball. It's a universal language. So we are building this new project where we are bringing Muslim and the Jews and the Christian communities by playing basketball. And then obviously while these kids are on the court, they're going to learn from each other. They're going to hang out and they're going to communicate with one another. So I think, this ball can solve a lot of problems in the world.
En tant que joueur professionnel, votre agenda est visiblement et sûrement très chargé. Comment avez-vous géré votre spiritualité?
So my schedule being busy is definitely not an excuse. I only play basketball 2-3 hours a day, and then my full day is open. So I think it is important to keep your spiritual life going. So I try to pray. Obviously, I pray 5 times a day, and I fast. And I think the one thing that the people forget doing it, because of now we're so busy, we're so caught up with all the social media and so busy with doing activities during the day, just the reading. I feel like if you read book about not only like spiritual books, but about anything, I think we can solve a lot of problems. So I think that's the one thing that our the generation is missing right now, just reading a book, and from the book, not from an iPad. Because the reason is, if you're trying to read anything from an iPhone or an iPad, while you read, there's going to be so much notifications, Snapchat notifications, Instagram notifications, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, so you are going to lose focus. So if you're going to read from the book and then feel the papers. So.
Avez-vous une anecdote amusante ou inspirante à partager concernant votre spiritualité et votre carrière?
So I remember, when I told the teams that I play for, I only eat halal, I don't eat anything else. So they actually started to serve halal food for me and also for the whole team. So whichever city we go to, we actually ordered this like Turkish or halal food in a locker room. So after the games, we were all sitting down on our knees and we were actually eating, Turkish food. And it was literally just like how the Turks do. It was like this big pile of food, and then all our teammates were around it, and we were just trying to dig in. And some players actually didn't even have forks or spoons, so they were just eating with their hands. And I wish I took a video of that moment, but it's so amazing to see how these players are respecting my culture, and just because of it's a religious reasons, they were out of their way to give me halal food. So that was very special for me. So everyone is like, well, we need to talk, we need to spread Islam, we need to do this. I feel like, I don't think that's, first of all, I feel like we have to represent first. Without representation, words are empty, you know? So you have to carry yourself well, because a lot of my teammates know that I'm Muslim, you know? Alhamdulillah, I'm Muslim, but they watch every step you take. So if you go out of your way and do something crazy, they're not only gonna blame yourself, they're gonna blame your religion too. So for me, it was always fun, but at the same time, it's a huge responsibility on your shoulder. Every step you take, you need to realize that you don't only represent yourself, you're representing your family, your country, your faith, everything. So for me, it was always back of my head. Like, if I go do something crazy, if I go do something wrong, they're not only going to blame me, but they're going to blame Islam too. So I think the words are empty. You have to show them with actions.
Quel conseil donneriez-vous aux jeunes?
I think my advice is to our young generation: there's a whole world going on out there, and then I will just say, live your life. Don't just put your head in your phone and then trying to, de-associate yourself from the world. I know the TikTok is fun, the Instagram is fun, and Twitter is fun, but there's a whole world going on out there, and you need to get out, and you need to, put your head up and actually look and see what's happening around you. That is one. And two, always know that you're not only representing yourself, you're representing people around you. And if you're gonna go do something bad, that they're not only gonna blame you, but they're gonna blame people around you too. But other than that, just smile, have fun, whatever you're doing, give yourself 100% and never give up on your dreams.
C'est quoi le hizmet pour vous?
What is hizmet? I think, the hizmet is, to me, it's a breath. Without breath, people will die. So I think without hizmet, I'm not saying that the world will die, but I'm saying that, you don't see any other group, especially around these days, is gonna go out of their way and care about interfaith dialogue. Just because there are so much radicalization right now, people are actually scared or don't even wanna shake the other side's hand. I think that the one thing that the hizmet is bringing to this world is dialogue and also education. That's why I care about this, the movement so much, because of education. Hizmet have over 170 countries around the world, and they are raising generations. So that's why I care about I fight against dictators every day, and all these dictators want one thing: yes men's around them. They're not going. Dictators don't like questions. Dictators don't want people who's going to criticize them. So, but what hizmet is doing is teaching kids to ask whoever your leader is question, or asking you to be the leader and treat people well. So I think I care about hizmet a lot, because of, is raising the next generation, and also, as education and dialogue to me is very important, and it's a must in our world today.
Qui est pour vous Fethullah Gulen Hoca Efendi?
I remember first time I'm meeting him, I was sitting down and he said, listen, it doesn't matter what your background is, what your skin color, what country you're from, or whoever you are. We need to leave our differences on a table and trying to find what we have in common, because we only have one world to live. So we need to make this world better together, and that's the key word, together. That quote itself inspired me so much, and that's why, I care about him a lot, because he cares about humanity, not only Muslims, but everyone around him. It doesn't matter, you believe in whatever you believe in, it doesn't matter what color you are or whatever your background or your culture is, he cares about you, and he wants your kids to be educated. He wants your kids to be open to dialogue. So we definitely need people like him in our world today, because if we don't, you see what's happening in Middle East. There is so much conflict and so much war going on. So I feel like we can beat these wars with education and dialogue.
Enes Kanter Freedom, est-ce que vous pouvez nous expliquer c'est quoi une journée type pour vous?
So I usually wake up around 4:30 or 5 a.m. and I pray, and I try to read something in the morning because I think that's when there's no text coming in your phone or there's no missed calls. So I actually really focus on reading around those times, and then I go to sleep for a little bit, and I wake up in the morning and go to practice. I try to work out for around 2 hours, and I come back, shower, and I try to eat something, and then I do my second and third prayer, and then I usually watch something. I think there are so many beautiful things on YouTube where you can educate yourself. I mean, there are so many educational videos, not only about my faith, but about so many different things. And then after that, I usually do some kind of a charity work because I think it is important to use this platform to inspire kids. So we either visit a hospital or we visit a school or an orphanage. So we pretty much like to organize a basketball camp and stuff. So we hang out with the kids for 2 hours, and then come back home, shower, do my fourth prayer, and then after that, I usually leave my house for another, how do you call sohbet? I'm trying to think how to call sohbet in English. Probably like, I will just say get together, and with some of my Turkish friends, and then we hang out and stuff. It is important to be with community because I think, I can do everything myself, but I think being with the community and just having conversations with them, listening to their problems, or maybe you have problems and you can share with those people. It is important to be with the community. And then I do my fifth prayer, come back home, read something a little, and then go back to sleep.
Merci pour votre temps, Enes Kanter Freedom. On espère vous revoir sur la chaîne Boussole une autre fois.
Thank you.